The maggots obviously will change the goal line, move the goalpost as much as possible. They will toe the line up until the point past pedophilia, I guess, at this point, and condoning it. And it's sick to see. And it's not even sick. It's confusing, because weren't they the party that said they need to protect children? The Republicans, the right wing, the extremist right wing, who wanted to blame drag queens for hurting children, who wanted to blame drag queens for, doing unthinkable and unspeakable things to children with no proof. But now there's proof that Jeffrey Epstein, and there has always been proof, that Jeffrey Epstein is a sexual predator and a pedophile, and now they're protecting and defending Jeffrey Epstein on the right-wing media ecosystem to somehow deflect from Trump's involvement, to make it okay for Trump to be involved in the ongoings and the disgustingness of Epstein. So let's take a look at this clip from Megyn Kelly, a very prominent right-wing media ecosphere scum. Go ahead.
Was it 2 months ago, 3 months ago, where you had that press conference? Was it 2 months ago, 3 months ago, where you had Ro Khanna
with the alleged victims?
Yeah, and Thomas Massey with this parade of, it was so sordid, and the promise of salacious details, and then the women saying, actually, we're going to make our own list. Like the whole thing was so,
yeah.
After the,
where's that?
Exactly. And it just seemed like, there was a lot, like obvious money grubbing, obvious, coming together.
As a woman who is hearing other women's stories about sexual assault and surviving the torturous, disgusting hands of Jeffrey Epstein and his clients, I find it so disturbing that this woman is sitting here trying to downplay and degrade the women who have come forward. It is absolutely probably the lowest level of scum you can probably get to say that these women are lying, and that even though they were younger, they were not children, some of them, when this occurred to them. I think it's just disgusting to deflect from the crimes that were committed against these women. And honestly, SiriusXM and Megyn Kelly, you should not have a platform at all.
Together of the two sides, because both sides see themselves as Trump's political opponents and enemies. The politicization, the money aspect of it. These women who were grown-ups when they met Jeffrey Epstein talking about themselves like they were children at the time. To me, that's really off-putting. It's kind of a slap in the face to the actual victims.
You're so sick. I don't even know who this woman is and why she's speaking, but the fact that she would say it doesn't matter, basically, when you were victimized, unless you were a child, it does not matter. What? No, if you're victimized and you have been assaulted and sexually assaulted and used by someone, it does not matter your age. A crime is still a crime, and you are a victim of said crime. And the fact that this psychopath is sitting here trying to justify that because they were grown or adult women at the time they met Jeffrey Epstein, that the crimes committed against them doesn't truly actually sink in or matter is pretty sick.
Virginia Giuffre aspect, where there was just lie upon lie upon lie. Like the idea that this is kind of something that's going to bring Trump down with his own base, with the other side, I just find it to be all so sordid.
Moreover, Jeffrey Epstein, there are countless numbers of women, young women, who were brought into his houses and to his island and paid for, quote, a massage with a happy ending, for lack of a better term. I mean, countless numbers of women. And he did like them young. And there were several young women who he did this to who were minors, who were underage. There's just no question about that. That is a true fact about Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay, so you're saying it's a true fact. So no matter the fact, this man is disgusting, and you should not be defending what happened to these victims.
But that is not a true fact about Donald Trump. And if Donald Trump allegedly liked the barely legal type, we would know, Batya. We would know.
Oh, we know. We know that Donald Trump likes the barely legal type. We've seen it. We've heard it. We've heard the way that he talks about his own daughter. We've seen the fact and heard the fact that he's creeped on women, practically underaged women, in Miss Teen USA pageants. Like, it's insane for them to say that we can't understand or we can't put the timelines together or put the dots together that Donald Trump is some sort of pervert, that, you know, he's talked about his daughter in a way that is sexualizing her. He's talked about young women in a way that sexualizes them. He has had email correspondence in regards to Jeffrey Epstein saying that Trump knew about the things that were going on in Epstein's houses, on Epstein's planes, on Epstein Island. The fact that all of these are now no longer, it's not a coincidence at a point. It's no longer a coincidence at a point. It's actually just complete and utter, not necessarily fact, but it's common sense to think that, okay, birds of a feather flock together, and Donald Trump has seen on multiple occasions, has said, I've liked them young. I like to go into Miss Teen USA pageants and look at them behind the scenes, behind the curtain. I like to look at my daughter in a sexual light, in a sexual way. It's weird. It's weird, and it becomes common sense that if he's hanging out with someone who is a convicted sex offender and pedophile, that most likely Trump is the same exact way.
We know virtually everything about the man's sex life, unfortunately. And we would know if he had a penchant for the super young girls at this point. Like,
we know.
He ran the Miss Universe contest. Like, yes, we heard a story about him possibly going backstage into the dressing room. At least.
See, this is why she acknowledges it, but then deflects from it. And I cannot stand journalism that acknowledges a fact that is a huge fact and then continues to deflect from it as if she said nothing, as if, you know, it wasn't a true fact.
At least once. Not great, not particularly shocking given how Trump was when he was younger, but we have not seen some slew of young women come forward to say, me too, on Donald Trump molesting them or having paid for sex with them when they were barely legal or otherwise. It just hasn't happened.
I cannot with this girl.